Come on in, come on in. How's everyone doing? My name is Will Wofford, and this is my friend Keith. See, I managed to point in the right direction this time, because it looks like he's that way, but I know that he's like right there. And so, welcome to Trekker's Delight that we do every single Thursday, and I'm actually quite proud of us because we haven't missed a Thursday. So we
We
are,
did 2 weeks ago. But
yeah, just our thoughts, prayers, hopes, and wishes for everyone that's out sick, for everyone that's out traveling, for everyone that's across the globe that really couldn't make it, or just didn't get enough sleep. And we're thinking about you. We love you. Um, because it happens, but that's what the skeleton crew is for. Like that's what we do, and we're here. I just got off work, and Keith, you say you just got out of a meeting, right?
yeah, one of 5 meetings I had today.
One of 5 meetings. Did you see? Y'all see how popular he is? Like I'm just like, yeah.
Mm.
Like I just like at work they called me into the main office of this retail store I work at, and there was like managers from every district, from like all stores across Arkansas. William, you sell the most memberships in all of the state. And you're like number 6. You have like only 5 people ahead of you in all 22 stores. And I said, "Oh, okay.
Good deal.
Thanks. Can I get a Reese's?"
Pay you more. Pay you more. More
I
money.
know, right? Like a 50-cent raise, like $1. I don't know. Maybe like give me that promotion that I applied for like 2 weeks ago. Like
That's
since you
fair.
want to recognize me as like the like I don't know, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
So I'm really am stalling while I'm waiting for people to like show up. But anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and play what Marie calls that lovely bean footage, which I'm gonna have to update real soon.
That
But
beautiful beautiful.
yeah. All right, here we go. 3, 2, and all right, all right, all right. So I got something to tell you guys. Hello to that one person that just showed up. I might have eaten an edible, and I'm waiting for it to kick in. So y'all let me know in the comment section to anyone that might be watching if I start acting crazy or not. Cause I'm really waiting. And usually edibles hit me the hardest. It tastes like candy, but it didn't do anything to me yet. Cause I'm already Keith can tell you I'm normally this crazy as it is.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like
say crazier than normal because
yeah, because it's just like, what is that? Right. So anyway, I'll let you know when I start getting like, "Ugh," can y'all imagine Spock being drunk? I hope they show that in season 2. As a matter of fact, it looks like they're going to be showing a lot of things in season 2. They're going to be exploring a lot of social dynamics, which is what they do in every Trek show, but they really highlighted that in this season 2. Keith, what is
well,
going on with this trailer?
yeah, we are now 3 weeks out from the start of season 2 of Strange New Worlds, and we have a
Mhm.
new. Well, this is the official trailer. What we had before was the teaser,
Right.
but this is the official trailer for the season.
Yes.
We see uh basically we see a bunch of scenes out of context. We don't see anything nuts to do with Una other than the fact that Una's there,
And
but
she's fine.
uh being a shuttle being piloted by shoot, I'm blanking on her name. Ortega's. And we are supposed to get an episode revolving around her character this year. The one main character we did not get a episode about last year.
Mhm.
Uh, we got we got to see just different. action things shown off, and just
Mhm.
a little bit more of what we're expecting to see from the season. A little, and this time without the previous one where we had a music playing over top. This is more traditional Star Trek music playing over it,
Mhm.
and just more to kind of whet the appetite for us for 2 weeks from now with the launch of Strange New World season two.
Okay. Yeah, because it looks like we're gonna be oop, surprise.
Yes. As we discussed last week, the ad on Crave in Canada showed the first shot of the. So in this trailer, we got at least 8 seconds of Boimler and Mariner really rocking those uniforms for lower decks. They look so much better
They
in
look
live action.
so clean. Like, when I get my uniform, I need mine to be fitted because the reason why they look so good is because they're fitted to the actors and actresses. And Keith here actually has a uniform,
Yeah,
which looks
mine
fantastic.
looks pretty good, but it's not. I mean, obviously, it's not as deep as a dark as a red, and of course, I'm a bit too big to actually wear this properly, as you guys have seen in previous ones. But
I think that it's just like when I saw a lot of behind the scenes footage for, TNG movies, I saw that their dark sovereign class uniforms look pale. So I think there's like a lot of color correction in the films.
well,
Like,
yeah, well, that's been going back to the original series. The
like
gold uniforms of the command class in the original series were actually green.
what?
Yeah, they
Well,
were green. They just looked gold.
they just look gold.
Yeah,
Oh wow. I mean, what can you expect in the 60s, right?
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
All the colors were weird in the '60s.
Speaking of colors, how do you feel about the Strange New Worlds poster? Damn near looking like an LGBT flag. Is it because it's being released in June? Like because
Could
of
be
Pride
for
Month?
Pride Month. It's also been hinted that the different colors pretend different episodes.
Mhm.
Uh, like perhaps Chapel being in black and white says that we may have a noir style episode since
Mhm.
they do tend to do different styles, not just pure
Yeah.
science fiction
Right?
in this show. So uh, it could be that the backgrounds are reticent of that. I mean, you see Ortega standing behind in front of a green background, and we did see her piloting the shuttle onto the forest-like planet. And
Mhm.
I,
And so yeah. And another thing that managed to catch my attention is what?
well, we had saw that in the teaser already of him drinking with the Klingons, and now
Mhm.
in fact we get less of it in this trailer. But
So, like, did they just, like, not have a budget for a Klingon, or did they or is this what a Klingon emerging from a human is supposed to look like?
or I think it's just a case of them sort of doing a slight course correction on the design of the Klingons that Discovery had the chance to go way, to really reinvent, and now they're seeing the backlash. I mean, there was an intense backlash on this.
And we're basically saying, "Hey, we may miss Trek, but we will cancel your ass if you do not fix this."
Yeah. And I mean, that was first season. That was one of the number one problems with Discovery was the fact that the Klingons look just so alien, and it was
Yeah.
even brought up. Somebody shared on Facebook this week a reaction, people reacting to how the Klingons appeared in the
Mhm.
motion picture, just as, and it was as you'd expect, just as drastic of a whoa, whoa, whoa. These are not Klingons. Maybe this is just another species. That
I mean, I was kinda hoping, like, when I first saw the, Discovery trailer season 1, I
Mhm.
was hoping that they were like the Klingons' ancestors, that we were gonna get some backstory, some Kayla stories, maybe some prequel stories, you know? They look
Well,
like they would be a Klingon ancestor.
Well, they did do the one thing with the beginning with season 2 of Discovery. They did point out the fact that the Klingons started growing their hair again because they came up with this contrivance that Klingons shave their heads at times of war,
At times
even
of
though we
war,
had seen them at times of war in Next Generation, in Deep Space Nine, in the original series,
and they did not shave their
and they did
hair.
not shave their heads. No.
And, no, they didn't. It's, the closest thing that I can think of is, well, 2
General
things
Shang
really.
from
General Chang and Into Darkness. Those are the only 2 times I've seen a
Well,
Klingon with a
Into
shaved head.
Darkness was the J.J. Abrams redesign of the Klingons, and they originally did redesign them for the Star Trek '09, but the Klingon scenes were cut.
Oh, so they were cut. So we just saw those 2 scenes where they have apparently piercings on their ridges.
Well, at
Like,
least the one that we saw with his helmet off, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they in order to save on the
Mhm.
cost of the prosthetics that most of the Klingons that we saw in Into Darkness were wearing helmets to look like the ridges. Which if you were following on what we learned in Enterprise season 4 about the ridges being genetically removed by a
That's
virus.
what I was rolling with that. Like, I was like,
Yeah,
"Okay,
that
that's
that they
plausible."
would wear the helmets to make a mock version of it, that made sense, but then the guy took it off and he had ridges still, so
Right. Right. Because it's like, yeah, because even the JJ with the JJ Abrams films, the Enterprise universe still happened.
yes.
Like, so
Yeah,
it's yeah.
everything that happened in Enterprise is still, yeah, considered
Can't
canon.
it's still canon for both universes, which is like honestly interesting. So, Keith, tell me, and this is completely random, but we're passing the time because we're good at making shit up.
Absolutely.
So, what would have been your personal reaction if Worf looked completely human and just completely ignored what he looked like the last 30 years in Picard season 3?
You know, if we saw Willie Hawkins from that episode of Deep Space Nine instead of, uh no, yeah, that wouldn't have been right at all if they would have gone back to
Change Worf.
'60s era Klingons for Worf. But I no, the more drastic thing is if they would have had Worf come on Picard and he would have been like Discovery season 1 Klingons.
Yeah, like what if he would have looked like one of those Klingons?
Yeah, with more pronounced ridges and a misshapen head and everything. That would have been quite alarming. Yeah.
I like how polite you put that. It's just quite
Yeah.
alarming. Like it would be it would be very unfortunate.
Well, I will say from the discussions we've had, including on this podcast, of the look of Worf, I think there's some people that have thought a certain way about how Worf appeared in season 3 of Picard would
Really?
not have felt the same way if he had a more bulbous head and more exaggerated features.
I mean, because he looked like Worf to me. Like,
Well, that there is a sizable amount of the viewing audience that would refer to him as Daddy Worf.
I mean, that's cool. I mean, the only thing that I can think of that I would change is I would probably do less white. And
Mm,
the reason being is because Vulcans live 3 times as long as humans, and Klingons live twice as long as humans. So I would have thought, like, because on the Enterprise, Worf was roughly the same age as the rest of them, roughly.
right.
So if he is supposed to live longer than all of them, then wouldn't it stand to reason that he would have less gray, I
Is it that
guess?
Klingons live twice as long? Because remember, as we saw with
Because we
Alexander, at when he was age 1 in when he was introduced to Worf, he was actually played by a 4-year-old.
right.
So we had a 1-year-old played by a 4-year-old, and was able to stand on his own and talk, and that's way beyond human development for a 1-year-old.
Right.
And but then of course we do know that the Klingons tend to be larger than humans.
They tend to be larger. Because I remember, Kang, Kor, and Koloth, when they made their appearance and grew their ridges back.
Yes.
Yeah, in Deep Space Nine from the original series. I thought that was really interesting. And I think we saw other dude who kept himself human. I guess I should say, or
Oh yeah.
whatever he did.
Yeah, we had that in Trials and Tribulations. Barry
That
Waddle,
episode is definitely
Artie
classic.
Darvin, who had been changed into a human in order to go undercover at K7,
Right.
remaining
Right.
human as punishment for his failure in that operation.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just because I think that was one of my biggest fears that I'm glad didn't come true is that they didn't change Worf that much, at least to my artistic opinion. Like
Well,
I feel yeah.
Well, I'd say, well, that was one thing that was brought up when they showed in the very first episode of Picard when he's being interviewed for the Federation News Service, and it shows him standing as arbiter of session for Gowron. You have Worf standing behind him, and people pointed out that they just used the still from that episode of Next Generation. So that's proof that Picard is keeping Klingons as they were, rather than changing to the Discovery version.
Okay, cool, 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 cool. So this shot right here, I want this ship to go real fast now.
Yeah, yeah. He looks very tense sitting in the chair. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. When that scene comes on, I'm gonna close my ears and close my eyes because I will cringe so much. I'll be like, bro, you are so awkward.
Well, just remember how he was in the first season episode, the Galileo 7, being in
Mhm.
command of that shuttle crew, and when it crashed, making the difficult decisions, and in where that's McCoy and Scotty felt the wrong decisions. So
Mm.
we already know that there was still that awkwardness getting into the original series. So they need to keep that to remain part of main with the timeline with
Hmm.
Strange New World. So him being tense in the chair is fitting with what we know of
Early
what's to
spot.
come. Yes.
Yeah. So, what do we think about our new chief engineer here?
Hell yeah. And we got her speaking, and she appears to be speaking with a sort of Eastern European accent.
Yeah, I
At
kind of
least that's
heard
my
that.
take on it.
Yeah.
She seems to like crazy plans, which of course she does. She's Carol frickin' Kane.
I ain't gonna lie. When I see her, I still expect how do I still expect a New York accent.
Well,
From Kimmy
it,
Schmidt, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt. That's where I
yeah.
first encountered her.
See, for me, it goes back to Taxi when she out Lotka, and just the way she is able to just go so over the top and just be absolutely hysterical.
Oh
I mean,
my
she
gosh.
is a treasure.
How do you think the conversation between her and Spock will go? I feel like they're gonna have their own scene.
Oh yeah, they will. It will be. We had this almost like scene of brotherhood between him and Hemmer in season one because of their telepathic abilities.
Right.
I believe him talking to Pelia will be a lot of confusion on Spock's face, even
Mhm.
more confused than Chapel leaves him.
Mm.
Uh, I could definitely see her as them having just oil and water, just not mixing at all.
Mhm. Okay. And, now, of course, you know what my favorite thing in Generations was the crash scene,
Mhm.
mainly because excuse me, it's probably the best Enterprise crash scene I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Um, Probably the best ship crash scene I've ever seen. And back then, they hardly used CGI at all.
right.
They used actual models, 6-foot models, and a bunch of landscape.
Yeah, 1994 CGI was nowhere near
N-
anything that could make that look
the
good.
only time you saw CGI was when they fired those torpedoes and those phasers. That's it. I that's if arguably like I
Yeah.
because I remember that they use like a big star background and then they use a lot of models, just to
Mhm.
they're big ass models, but like it's yeah. Well, I say that to bring up this part right here. As I'm watching this, I'm kind of reluctant to believe if this is the Enterprise. I'm thinking this is another Constitution class ship.
Or the other class that they showed in season one that was Constitution yet slightly smaller that allowed them to use the same sets. Oh, and that was the Gorn episode where we lost Hemmer,
Where we
and you can
lost
see we see Gorn ships in the distance there, and
right
we
because it's like, and as I'm looking at the bottom part, its neck is chopped. Like it's
yeah,
almost like a recreation of the Beyond scene when their ship was going down.
right.
You
And we from other shots within the trailer, we are led to believe that that is Spock and Chapel, from my understanding.
Interesting. Yeah, because this does not seem like the Enterprise unless we're getting a time travel story.
Well,
Like,
we know we're getting two time travel stories because we're
okay.
getting the time travel of Lower Decks because that's set post
Oof.
Nemesis. I'm sorry, Marie's not here, so I'm
So, oh, she'll be all right. Mm.
Sorry, Marie. Love you.
Sorry. If you go back and watch this, we said nemesis.
We hope you're resting right now and
We hope
feeling
you're
better.
resting good.
Yeah. Uh, but we are getting that, but we're also getting seemingly a time travel episode of La'an and Kirk going to what looks like 21st century Toronto. And I say
Oh
that because they filmed
yeah.
it in
Toronto.
2022 Toronto.
They film everything up there.
Well,
Anyway,
it was cheaper.
it was cheaper. It was cheaper. So what we're saying is William needs to get an apartment up there.
Either there or Georgia.
Okay, George is right down the road. I can do
Yeah,
that.
that's where they're filming all the Marvel stuff. So,
That makes sense because I remember learning that Disney rented land space from Tyler Perry Studios.
hmm
I thought that was great. I said, "Ooh, let me buy 100 acres." But anyway, yeah, because I'm glad that we're getting the Gorn back. They seem to are going to be a consistent villain, and I understand that from our last conversations that some people might not take too kindly to that because there was a type of mystery to the Gorn, and now we pretty much said they're xenomorphs. So, like, what's going on? Like that they would be like a consistent villain? Or are they just going to have like a hive like mind
well,
structure?
we never what we saw in season one. The only Gorn we saw were baby Gorn. We didn't see a full-grown adult Gorn. The o- the only time we've seen full-grown adult Gorn was the mirror episodes of Enterprise from season four, and of course and Lower Decks, the cartoon version. But then going back to original series Arena, the introduction of the Gorn.
Hmm.
So there's still the ability to have mystery, just like in Next Generation. They hinted at in the episode The Battle that you had a battle between the Federation and the Ferengi, the Stargazer and a Ferengi ship, a decade before the Federation officially recognized the Ferengi alliance, as we saw in the episode The Last Outpost from season
Hmm.
one of Next Generation. Oh, by the way, during the course of this podcast, every once in a while, I know I make mistakes. I do my best to try to get everything right. Like a couple weeks back, I talked about Gilroy, who ran Andor on Discovery on Disney Plus, but I
Hmm.
said Tony Gilmore, and no one pointed it out. Which I mean, that could be because no one noticed, or because no one cared. But
I didn't
feel free to
notice.
call me out when I get stuff wrong. I accept that I do make mistakes and
Yeah.
do my best to try to
Oh yeah.
atone for
Okay.
them.
Absolutely. No problem. No problem. Okay. I didn't notice. So it seems like oh, and like you said, there's gonna be a time travel episode. When is Kirk not? Kirk needs to stay in one spot. You always time traveling. Like,
Well,
stop.
we had known. See, they let out that Kirk had been cast because they were filming in Toronto, and people saw them out. And they saw Paul Wesley and they saw Christina Chong out in uniform running on the street. So that's how they had to release the information that Kirk had been cast. But that's before we knew he was going to show up in the finale of season one. But this is when he was still on the Farragut, and then he's Lieutenant Kirk. But we found out in this trailer that he has a drink with Uhura. So a slight shade of what we saw in Star Trek '09. Hopefully not trying to hit on her like Chris
Well,
Pine's Kirk was.
I mean, I feel like he definitely would if he could, given
Well,
Kirk's character. But we all know what the ending of Kirk and Uhura is going to be. They're going to kiss all of one time against their will, and that's
yes.
it. Which season was that? Was that season 3?
Third season three, Plato's Stepchildren.
Is that the show that ultimately led to the cancellation of
No, it was technically canceled in season two, except for the work by Bijo Trimble and the people sending letters. They got season three. So Star Trek was on a very short leash for season three, and they cut the budget a huge amount. They moved it to Friday night at 8 o'clock. Who the heck watches TV Friday night at 8 o'clock other
I,
than me because I'm bored,
I
old.
what so let me get this right. They do the pilot, They didn't like it. Lucille Ball steps in and they do another pilot.
Well, Lucille Ball paid for the original pilot as well, but Lucille Ball believed in Star Trek enough that she was willing to give them another chance to make another pilot because the original pilot tested as too cerebral. So they make the new one. They make When No Man Has Gone Before. It tests great. They book the show. It does great numbers to book it for season two, but the price is getting a little bit too much. So
For
they
paper
one
mache
of
ships.
yeah, one of the things they did in season one to cut back on that was they were able to take the original pilot, The Cage, cut it up into little bits, and boom, we got a two-parter called The Menagerie. You had half of two episodes that you didn't have to film because we had the pilot episode that wasn't used.
Mm.
So then season two, they tried. Uh, there, there was trying to continue to step forward, but they had to start making cutbacks. So when season three came, first of all, Desilu sold out to Paramount. So Desilu had Lucille Ball was no longer in charge at the end of season two,
Dang.
and that's why they initially were canceled. But because Star Trek fans are so intense,
They wrote letters like crazy.
yes, they did what Firefly fans could not do. They were able to get another season of their show.
You did watch Firefly Lane, or you talking about Firefly the sci-fi show?
I'm talking about Firefly, the sci-fi show.
Okay, 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 okay.
Yeah, but yeah, they were able to bring back for a third season at a much, much reduced budget. That's why you had quite a few times where you had a Romulan ship that was a Klingon ship.
Because of the budget.
Yeah, they didn't want to have to design another Romulan ship. That you had other ships that were invisible, like the most famous episode of season three
Mhm,
for Let There Be That Be the Last Battlefield.
mhm.
The ship that is attacking the Enterprise is invisible. And then it's destroyed. And suddenly Frank Gorshem's character is standing on the bridge.
How convenient.
Yes. And that's one of many, many ways that they cut back on the budget. I mean, you look at some episodes like you had and the children's show Lead, where the villain is a guy that wasn't even a regular actor. He was an entertainment lawyer wearing a shower curtain as his costume.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
think I need to continue, TOS. Like, I
yeah.
think I made it as far as episode 8 in season 1.
Okay.
Now I've seen, Troubles with Tribbles. I saw a lot of stuff. I saw, like, the iconic shows,
Yes.
the iconic episodes, but I haven't seen, like, consistent, all the way through and through yet.
Yeah.
But
There's
I
a
get
lot of good stuff there. Even in season 3, Spock's brain is not that bad. Turnabout Intruder is a travesty, though.
Oh, I saw Turnabout Intruder. That's the
That's
last episode.
the final episode, yes.
Yeah, basically she gets jealous at some about Kirk and who she can't stop having feelings for, so she switches bodies with him.
And also claims that women are not allowed to be captains of starships and this whole sexist thing that
That we
was just
completely
absolutely
debunked.
insane to think that they would foresee 300 years in the future that there would still be that divide. That was just
Uh,
horribly thought out.
because I've noticed that whenever shows are canceled, they go very hard on the left. And when I'm not talking hard, I mean like on the extremist side of things.
Okay.
Like, it's just like, "Hey, we know we're about to be get canceled, so we're gonna say what we always wanted to say."
Yeah.
Like, and so it kinda makes me think, like, with, Turnabout and Shooter and Plato's Stepchildren, it's just like, what message were you trying to send that you could interpret of the times of the 50s and 60s? It reminds me of, Once Upon a Time. On their last episode, I ain't seen so many people of color or LGBT in one season. I was like, in any of the Once Upon a Time, hell,
Well,
Cinderella was Italian, like,
yeah,
and
that last season of Once Upon a Time was just
or another
crazy.
one was now they did horrible with this. What's it called? Something Survivor. With the when the dude becomes president because he's
Designated Survivor with
designated
Kiefer Sutherland.
survivor. Yeah, season 3 was garbage. Like,
Well, that was the Netflix season because it had been canceled by its original network and Netflix picked it up.
right. So, do you think that it was possible because they had one more season up their sleeve that they just threw a bunch of messages for the '60s of Star Trek?
Could yeah, there's definitely things in there because Let There Be the Last Battlefield was in there. Trouble with Tribbles was in there, which is, yes, a great comedy episode and wonderful episode to remember going forth. But it's also important when thinking about, uh, you know, food shortages and how so many wars are started from lack of food. How many revolutions in human history were started because there was a bad harvest the previous summer, and
Mhm.
just the different things that are under. When you get past the novelty of the child, of the tribbles themselves, but the actual true message of that episode is so much deeper and so much more interesting. You just got to get past the idea, the fact of the tribble itself.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just dang, we just got a lot to go on. Like, and we have you said how many weeks do we have until the first episode?
2 weeks.
2 weeks away. Yo,
Wait, no, three. I'm sorry, 3 weeks. One
3
week from
weeks.
next week is June 1st, June 9th. No, June 1st, June 8th, June 15th. Yeah. So
The middle of June.
yes, the Ides of June.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm definitely excited. I feel like it may not seem like I'm very excited, but I really am because it's just like I get to see Spock kiss Chapel in
Well,
and
no,
he
no, no,
does
no.
that. Yeah.
Correction. Chapel kiss Spock.
Okay, that's true. That's definitely true. I mean, he's single now at this point. So
Is he?
like
Is he? They were still together.
I mean, yeah, but it's like they broke up. Like they
Did they?
separated.
When?
I feel like they separated.
No,
They didn't?
that was a show. They were they were acting like they were separating to fool Angel, Captain Angel, because Captain Angel was trying to get Cybok released from the facility. So they played up. They did this whole show of saying that they were splitting up, and that Spock was going to be with Chapel now.
And then she cheats on him anyway.
Well, we did have. There's one of the people that she's working with at the facility. We is the person in mock time that she ended up leaving Spock for. So, but that was the beginning of season two. That was the first episode of season two of original series.
So this is gonna be a good 10 years later, less than 10 years later,
A
probably.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Well, yeah, because at the time of not Stranger Worlds, at the time of Discovery, it was a solid 10 years.
Yes.
So now we're like probably 3 years in at this point.
Yeah, considering Strange New World's supposed to pick up a year after where Discovery season two left,
Mhm.
so we should be 4 years of thereabout, so 6 years away from original series.
Okay, which is perfect timing because they're hoping to get 7 complete seasons, I assume.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, we were expecting 7 complete seasons of Discovery, and we're
Oh,
going to
man, I was
stop at
here for
5.
it. Like, I ain't gonna lie, that really broke my heart. I was like, "Come on, connect it to Calypso, please, please,
They
please."
still can. They still can. I mean, they're right now they're wrapping. Well, they were filming 3 additional episodes. Whether those episodes wrapped before the writers' strike started, I'm not sure, but we'll see.
Some of them probably said, "Okay, we're gonna go on strike, but let's finish this one episode first. We saw what happened to this, so we got to finish this one."
Do you want to go ahead into the news list now, or do you want to
I
talk
do,
more
because
Strange New
we're
World?
oh, no, that was pretty much it. Like, we're pretty much in the second half of the show now, so what news do we have that you learned?
Okay, first up, Paramount Plus has announced that the 10 Star Trek movies that exited the streaming service last October will be back starting June 1st, 1 week from tonight.
Oh, how
This
nice.
includes the 6 movies featuring the original cast, including both the theatrical and new 4K edition of the director's cut of Star Trek the Motion Picture. Also coming back are the 4 movies featuring the cast of Star Trek The Next Generation. They will be leaving the streaming service formerly known as HBO Max on May 31st, making Paramount Plus once again the exclusive home of all things Trek. So it was a case of Paramount, as we discussed a couple weeks ago about the possibility of Paramount selling off, optioning off some of their catalog to other streaming services. They did that with the 10 original movies, and now they're coming back. The deal with HBO Max has expired as of next Wednesday, so they're coming back. We'll probably have it for about a year until it will go somewhere else.
Because they still like to rent it out.
Yeah, and people are
Okay.
willing to pay.
I
So
get it. I get it. If they feel that they got to do what they got to do.
yeah. Paramount has confirmed the launch plans, including date for the merged Paramount Plus with Showtime service. The company will launch the rebranded bundle on June 27th. It comes a few days after the date leaked via the email sent out to Showtime subscribers who had paid for the service via Apple. The
Mhm.
move, which is currently only applicable in the US, comes after it emerged in January that Showtime will no longer be a standalone brand. Now, here's the important information about this: Paramount Plus with Showtime will cost $11.99 a month, while Paramount Plus without Showtime will cost $5.99. This is $2 more than the existing Paramount Plus premium plan that currently doesn't have Showtime content, and $1 more than the essential plan without Showtime.
Is it worth it?
To go to add Showtime or to
Mhm.
just the fact
To
that we
add
have that?
Showtime.
Uh,
Because
do
I've
you
never
like
been a Showtime person.
if you watch Billions?
No.
No, I think that's a Showtime show. I don't even know what's on Showtime anymore.
Yeah, I'm kind of stuck on Blacklist right now.
Oh, there's Yellow Jackets, Waco: The Aftermath. I've heard good things about Pearl.
Okay.
Uh,
I can safely say I have never heard of any of those shows.
Shameless,
I've
Californication.
I think Shameless is on Netflix too.
Yes, Dexter, Homeland, Ray Donovan, The L Word, Queer as Folk, Who is America, Twin Peaks, Penny Dreadful.
Okay. Yeah, I
I
definitely
mean,
heard some of those.
some of those shows are over now, but I mean,
Mhm.
you'll be able to get them if you're willing to pay $11.99 a month
Mm.
for Paramount Plus with Showtime.
Okay. 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 Mm. Shout out to the web designers who pull that stuff off.
Yeah.
It-
Well, hopefully we'll get an improvement on the interface possibly when that launches on June 27th, but I
that
doubt
would
it.
be really really nice because so far I like the interface on Netflix, and it's not because I'm accustomed to it. Even it changes every few years, but like it's I can just easily just do stuff, and then of course it doesn't get any easier than YouTube. But
Yeah.
as because sometimes I'll just want to play back a scene and all I have to do is just double tap and it just goes back 10 seconds. Whereas on some, you have to like hold the remote down and it just and you done went back 2 minutes too far when you just
Mm.
want to watch a 30-second scene.
Well, my problem with Paramount Plus is I'll pause it. I'll be watching an episode, I'll pause it, and I'll leave, and I'll come back, and I have to restart the whole show.
Hmm.
It's just a very poor thing. But speaking of interfaces, now available, anyone who owns a Roku device, you now have a Star Trek background for the Roku main screen. It shows Rock Talk and Murph standing outside of a Starfleet style building with
Hmm.
banners draped from it with Mr. Spock showing the "Live long and prosper, Vulcan salute." Now
Aw.
it is a textured design. It isn't, and it's not as clear, but it's that nice mix of original series and
Hmm.
the new stuff in Star Trek Prodigy, which
Hmm.
of course will be back with season 2 later this year.
Oh man. Season 2 of Prodigy, where we see the Voyager A. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
perhaps. Yeah,
Yeah.
they teased it in the finale, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I'm sure it'll give us a lot of story. But okay, but back to the news parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
Speaking of Star Trek shows, the petition to bring about Star Trek Legacy,
Oh
show run by
yeah.
Terry Matalas, is now at over 58,000 signatures. Their goal right now is to aim for 75,000, which would make it one of the highest number of signatures signed petitions in the history of change.org.
So what is the highest petition to bring on a show?
Well, it's not just to bring on a show, it's they do all kinds of different things on change.org.
Okay.
Uh, I didn't look on that. let's see, 510 million people taking action victories every day. Uh,
Mhm.
is the petitions they have on there is what they have at their main line, but uh, I don't know. I'd have to search to find the top petitions, but oh wow, ban Ayatollah Khomeini from Twitter, 120,000 signatures. Let's
Oh,
see.
wow.
Yeah, so that's much bigger than Star Trek.
Hmm.
And the ones they're advertising on their main page are around 30,000 and lower,
Mhm.
but that's for different animal. Hey, my dog has decided to itch himself right next to the base of my microphone stand. So, okay. But yeah, there's actually ones about uh, animal endangerment and testing. But yeah, like here's one. Let's save Zanyar Tandra and his family. 63,976 supporters. So 75,000 would definitely go beyond a lot of the ones that are on there.
Mhm.
Whether or not it'll be enough, we'll see. You would think so because we only needed 35,000 to make Strange New Worlds a thing.
And
And
so
they
we're pretty much saying yes, 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 yes. Like,
now the key thing to point out about Strange New Worlds versus Legacy is Strange New Worlds is being filmed in Canada just as Discovery is. Picard was being filmed in California
mm,
because Sir Patrick Stewart lives in California and he was not traveling to Canada to film episodes of the
they
show.
came to him?
They came to him.
Because I remember in season 1, it was hell filming back and forth. Because I heard that they did scenes in, everywhere, and I don't know where he lived, whether he lived in Europe and we were in America, or
No,
he was
he
here.
lives in California these
Well,
days.
because I remember that, the reason why in the season 1 of Picard, he wore this vest jacket thing, which looked like an off-brand of the Sovereign class uniforms we saw in Nemesis, right?
Right.
And right. Now they were supposed to use his original jacket and his original uniform, but, apparently Patrick Stewart said this, they didn't have the budget to go back and get the suit, so they made something on the spot right then and there.
Well, we know that for the episode Nepenthe, Marina Sirtis was able to appear because she had stolen one of the wigs.
She kept the wig.
Yeah, and was able to wear it, and so that her hair would look proper for it. Otherwise, they were stressing on not being able to make her look like Deanna Troy is to look. So,
Yeah, she's supposed to have this big bun of hair on top of her head.
well, we've seen her in other things. She appeared in an episode of The Orville, directed by Jonathan Frakes,
Ah,
with her natural hairstyle. So,
yeah. The first time I saw a natural hairstyle was high school, and it was Comic-Con videos I couldn't stop watching of her. Like,
hmm,
she hates sitting down.
yeah.
Um, she loves stand up. That's why Marina's my favorite. She's a badass. What other news we got?
Okay, Star Trek has over the years, Star Trek has received a number of awards and nominations, Oscars,
Mhm.
Emmys, at
Mhm.
least nominations, mostly Hugo Awards and other sci-fi honors.
Mhm.
Well, now Star Trek has received its first Eisner Award nomination, the awards given out for comics. Star Trek issue number 400 was nominated for Best Single Issue One Shot, and the new main Trek series starring uh, this is 400, the 400th issue
Okay.
that this was nominated for Best Single Issue One Shot. And
Mhm.
then the new Star Trek series starring Benjamin Sisko, which is apparently considered canon, was
So we get to
also
learn.
nominated
Yeah.
for Best New Series. Yeah, and in the nomination, they did note that this series, which brings Cisco back and resolved, help bring the can bridge the Worf storyline from where it ended in Deep Space Nine and
So
Nemesis to
so
where we see it in Picard.
so we find out what really happened to the Enterprise.
Not yet, because right now Worf is commanding the Defiant in which is also considered this is a branch off of this series.
Yeah, because I thought that he was gonna be like, an ambassador, like we thought he was
Oh
gonna
yeah,
be in the
he
future.
was, and then we found out that
He quit.
when he rejoined Starfleet, he became first officer on
Right.
the Enterprise E, and then captain when Picard got promoted to be
To
admiral.
Admiral.
So yeah, so that's the first nominations for comic awards for Star Trek, and I must say the art has been fantastic. The storyline has been great. In the 400th issue, you even had a wonderful storyline written
Mhm.
by Will Wheaton that was fantastic.
He
That
wrote it.
ties in perfectly with his scene at the season finale of season 2 of Picard.
So wow, so we get to learn more about our new traveler.
Yes. Well, no, it's more about how he's looking to retire and he visits in it's actually called A Matter of Choice. You have him visiting Picard at the vineyard
Uh-huh.
prior. He visits him before Picard goes off on his adventure, but there to talk to him to get advice before he goes to meet Corey in 2024 Los Angeles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a minute. Like I was kind of hoping we were gonna get like a Wesley show or something, but
He would love it, but there doesn't seem to be much interest for it.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm yeah, man. I mean, hey, at least he's back in the universe, all
Yeah.
the way. He's like facing all, you know.
Yeah, right now of the shows not currently greenlit, the shows that are being sought is Legacy, continuing the adventures of the Enterprise G under Captain Seven of Nine, a Worf series, as we've discussed, both
Oh man, if
either
they give us
Captain
the Warp
Worf or
series,
just Worf defense contractor, as Marie likes to describe it.
honestly, that would be a great miniseries.
That would.
Wharf Defense Contractor, bro, that
Mhm.
thing would blow up more than short tracks.
Yeah. Well, there's also a question of whether or not short treks can return with some of these
I
little things.
loved it. I loved when Spock and Una sing
Yep.
the general song. Like,
An astronaut. Yeah.
is that a real song, by the way?
Yes, that's from Pirates of Penzance by Gilbert and Sullivan. I am the
Okay.
very model of a modern Major General.
Is that the same song Picard and Worf sing as the ship goes down?
Yeah.
Or because I
Well, no, no,
remember
no, no. They
because I
they
remember
sing English
those
Tar.
names.
Yeah, that it's the same musical, and it's Gilbert and Sullivan, but it's a different song.
Oh. Oh, okay, so same musical, same writers, different
Yes.
song.
Yes.
Okay, I'm here now. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was like, you were so wait, why do I know that name? But okay, it looks like yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna miss Picard, but it's okay. I when I go to work, whenever I have a moment to myself, I just play that Enterprise return scene again and again and again.
Well,
Or oh man, I even love hearing the badassery of Beverly Crusher when she says torpedoes away, locking phases and returning fire. I even remember what her hands looked like. She had two fingers on this side of the board, and she used the rest of her fingers to just work the shit. And I said, you know what? And you actually heard the
yep.
in the shot. Like it's just so cool. And I'm just like, come on, nails. You did your nails. You knew you were finna show out. Like I'm just like, really? And oh my god, I've been waiting to say this. So
Yeah.
whenever you play video games and I'm assuming you have Star Trek games like Legacy or
Mhm.
maybe the PS2 game. Right. Okay, cool. When we fire phasers and fire photon torpedoes, we let it rip, don't we?
Mhm.
Okay, we let them have it. Okay, we go even when we don't know what we're doing. We just keep firing like it's nobody's business because it's gonna hit something. Okay, that said, when I saw that scene of yep, the edible's kicking in now.
Uh-oh.
When I saw that scene of the Enterprise going over 1/10 of that Borg ship and just letting it rip, like there is just everywhere. I was waiting to hear some rock music. I'm not gonna lie to you, but Beyond kind of already stole that. But just going everywhere. I'm going like, finally, you fire the phasers and torpedoes like I would in a video game. Like,
Yes, that scene has been recut with sabotage by um shoot yeah, but that was used in Beyond as well as Star Trek '09. Beastie
mhm.
Boys. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
But also, there's a Facebook group called the Andorian Mining Consortium. That's a comedy Star Trek Facebook group. Usually, it shares
Ooh.
memes, but he's been making videos lately too. And one of the videos is that scene of them getting ready to go into the Borg cube, and Data saying, "Really, trust me," and then immediately hitting into a pylon and exploding.
The okay, okay, okay. Yo, I'm sorry. I'm glad we got like 10 minutes left because that just got so funny to me because I'm kind of higher than hell right now. Um,
Oh,
but it's
it's a great Facebook group. I highly recommend it.
oh yeah, cool. I
Th-
intend on joining it.
there's a meme from them that I shared in our Discord.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to be part of the fun but not be on the episode, join our Discord. It was of roll that beautiful gawk footage of they had made a mock version of the Bush's Beans ad with Worf and a Targ, and I shared that on the Discord a few weeks back. Okay, wrapping
Wow.
up the news list, I got two more
Yeah.
things.
Mm-hmm.
All right. In conversation with SFX magazine, in put out by a comic book CBR. I can't remember the name of the site now. Akiva Goldsman, who was part showrunner for Picard and is one of the showrunners for Strange New Worlds, suggested there will be more surprise Star Trek cameos in Strange New Worlds' upcoming Lower Decks crossover than expected,
So we're
saying,
getting
"I
more.
am as promiscuous as it comes when we discuss the crossing over into other series timelines. I delight in that. I think our rule is it can't just be fan service, which is not to say that we don't love servicing fans, but there also has to be a real storytelling get, of which I think there are many. We had a really good time doing that and got to work with our extended family from the other show, both on camera and off. And of course, Jonathan Frakes directed it. So, in many ways, it's a Star Trek melting pot, that episode, and there are more, but far be it from me to spoil. Now, considering we're about to get the Flash movie after years and years of delays, and there was a cameo that was hidden that they decided that was spoiled in a review of the movie by Variety.
Okay.
I'm hoping that no more that this remains not spoiled. Like we were able to get Picard to be shocked by the inclusion of Rand of
Roland.
Rolaren
Row.
and Admiral Elizabeth
Elizabeth Shelby.
Shelby, yes. So those were surprises. We did not know they were coming. Didn't know Tuvok was coming until he was on screen, and then of course he told us he'd be back for another one. So spoiled the second one, but those were nice surprises.
Mm-hmm.
We don't spoil us on any other Strange New World surprises. We don't need to know what's happening more. What we have now of Boimler and Mariner on the Enterprise, that's all we need to see
That's all we
of
need
that
to see.
episode
Don't do
until it's
nothing.
ready to air.
Don't do nothing. Don't show us don't show us the
Don't show us
don't show
Pike
anything.
on the Cerritos. Don't
Don't
show us
don't
anything.
show us. I don't care if Michelle Yeoh makes a cameo appearance as her coming back from the future just to check on things. Don't show that either. Don't show don't show Dr. Soon hanging around.
Yeah.
Don't, we don't want
No
to see it.
Sooms. Yeah, no Sooms. We've had enough Sooms. Too many
I
Sooms.
think yeah, we definitely had enough that we gotten a full they could if they could honestly have their own shows. Like
Yeah.
they got so much history, but now we got a complete timeline of the Soon history. We're good now. We're
Yeah.
good. We good. So like we don't want to see it. We want to see it, but we don't want to be spoiled. Keep it clean. Like kind of like when they said that we were going to be revisiting the Enterprise again. Yeah, we're going to be on the Enterprise again, but they never specified whether it was on a holodeck or whether which letter it was going to be, or because we revisited the Enterprise. I'm sorry to bring this episode up, but we revisited the Enterprise in the Pegasus episode, apparently. So,
Mhm.
like, if you really think about it, so in my head, I'm thinking, oh, they're just on the holodeck reminiscing, just like they did on Relics when Scotty went onto the holodeck to revisit his Enterprise. So
Right.
as a filmmaker, I have to take into account that it's metaphoric and could mean literally anything.
Yeah.
But I was blown away by by the Enterprise D, not in the sense that I figured we would see it, but I thought we were just going to see the saucer section and that was it.
Well,
That's it.
it had been hinted because I brought it up on here that
Mhm.
the rumor was that we would see that Geordi will have rebuilt the star drive section, but it
Mm.
turned out we got it from the USS Sutherland instead.
Syracuse.
Oh,
Yeah.
Syracuse. That's right. Sorry.
Yeah. Do we know any history of the Syracuse or is that just another
No,
ship?
it's just another ship.
Okay.
But
I
there's
was
lots of ships in Starfleet. So,
okay. Okay.
all
Cuz
right.
yeah.
Final
So,
item on the news list.
all right, let's go.
News on first of all, it was confirmed today that production on Strange New World season 3 is delayed due to the writers' strike, which is perfectly fine
That's okay. As long as you know cuz hopefully we'll get our shit together before the end of
because
the
we're
summer.
getting season 2. I know the fact that season 3 was already going to be in development was just bonus.
Yeah.
Lower Decks season 4, which is expected to come out this summer after the end of Strange New World season 3, which is due to end in April. Uh, oh shoot, I did skip over something. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped over a thing. When Strange New World season 2 ends, another comic miniseries will be released called Scorpius Run, first releasing August 23rd. Now, we did have a Strange New World miniseries that comes off of the end of season 1, the Illyrian Enigma, in
Mhm.
which the Enterprise goes against orders to try to find a way to get Una released and actually finds out something from the history of the Illyrians that could be
Mhm.
useful, but the Illyrians won't let them tell anybody because
Mhm.
they're too ashamed once they find out about it.
Right.
So, so that will be August 23rd, first releasing, and then following in the months after. Also in August, we'll be getting the Day of Blood crossover between the main Star Trek comic and the Defiant.
Ooh.
DS9 Dog of War comic, which just started releasing a month ago, which is set in season 6 of Deep Space Nine.
Mhm.
The main story being Quark is transporting a purebred corgi to the highest bidder, and other shenanigans happen, including an issue with the Borg.
Mhm.
That will be wrapping up in August, and the motion picture store comic line Echoes will end in September.
Dang.
Now, in August, we are expected to get Lower Decks season 4, and Mike McMahon, showrunner and lead writer for the show, gave an interview and let it be known the new season will feature some more drama, a wedding, and plenty of T'Lyn.
We saw a wedding last time.
Yes, yes, but this will be a wedding of characters we actually care about. But the smart money is on to Anna and Shax.
Yeah, because I don't see any of the main four really into each other like that.
No,
Like they try to not the writers trying to, but they try to make fun of the idea of Boimler and Mariner being together.
no.
But we
It,
all know that ain't gonna work. They're best
no,
friends.
Rutherford and Tendi, I could totally ship
I
that.
can kind of see that, especially now that he has all of his memories back.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, really, 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 really cool. Okay.
Okay.
I yeah.
Now you did reference there the wedding of last season featuring one Peanut Hamper, and
I feel
Peanut
like
Hamper will be returning
oh
for
that
season
bitch.
4 Lower
That
Decks,
bitch.
as
Like
well as
she's the peanut hamper is the soon of lower decks.
yeah, well, as well as 2 guest actors that appeared in season 3 will be returning, reprising their roles. That will be James Cromwell as Zephram Cochrane and George Takei as Captain Sulu again.
Oh, I'm here for this. I love it.
Uh,
I hope that we hear because he the last time I saw him was season one was the guy who transfigured and became like a Cisco. Like
mm,
what's he called? He ascended.
yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping we would see him again, but maybe we will. I don't know.
But a teaser trailer is expected to be released sometime within the next month after the first couple episodes of Strange New Worlds.
Oh yeah, because we got to get into Strange New Worlds first. I got to
Yeah.
give him room to breathe. Yeah.
Yep. But it is definitely plausible that August 23rd, that first Thursday after Strange New Worlds ends, I know August 24th, with 23rd is Wednesday when they do comic releases.
Hmm.
But the 24th, 17th is the final episode of Strange New Worlds. It could be that 24th could be the first episode of Lower Decks,
Hmm.
or maybe the 17th will be like they did last year, last episode of Strange New Worlds, first episode of Lower Decks
Okay.
on the same night. But that is highly possible. So
Okay.
that is our news list for the week. 59 minutes and 52 seconds.
We
Boom.
actually did really, really good. And I'm so glad that I was very cordial because I'm not going to lie to you guys. I feel very loopy right now. Um, but I'm doing good.
Yeah,
Like,
I talked a lot this episode. I know.
honestly, it was good. Honestly, this was probably the most responsible for two people, even though it was two, because when it's all 7 of us, we're rowdy as hell. But for two people, we did the first 30 minutes was dedicated to the Strange New Worlds trailer review, and the last 30 minutes was dedicated to all of the news updates. Yo, this is great.
Mhm.
Before we reach 101, anything you want to say, Keith?
Remember, we're doing this out of our love for Star Trek. We are fans first and
Yes.
foremost.
Yes.
You can pay us by liking, sharing, commenting. Let us know that you're watching. Let us know that you support what we're doing. If you want to be part of this, you're more than welcome to join us. I have a very good friend of mine that I used to work with who I was talking about briefly about Star Trek with today on Facebook. She's all caught up on Discovery and loves it and wants to go
Mm.
back and rewatch older series and give your advice on it. I'd love to get if she wants to come on. I'd love to have her on. She said that she really connects with Michael Burnham,
Oh,
a- and just knowing how many people have a absolute dislike and dread for that character, which I still think. I mean,
yeah, yeah.
she's not perfect, but no one is.
But no one is.
I don't believe she deserves the hate that she gets,
Mhm.
and my friend definitely believes that. So, I mean, I'd love if she were to came on. Maybe she can
You
jump
hear
on
that,
with.
friend? Get your butt over here, okay?
Yeah. But yeah, any of my friends that are watching this, I'll be sharing this on Facebook. I'll be sharing it on Twitter. But as anybody that's catching this, YouTube, anywhere it's hosted, like, share, comment, or let us know what you think of what we're doing. We're gonna probably continue talking strange, getting ready for Strange New Worlds next week, as well as we are planning one of these days to do a deep dive into the writers' strike.
Yes.
We know a writer of Star Trek has watched our episodes in the past. If 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 Mr. Aaron Walkie would like to join us on one of these upcoming shows,
That'd be dope.
please feel free to let us know.
Feel free.
Yeah.
All right. So we managed to, I won't say out of nothing because we kind of sort of planned the topic,
Mhm.
but we definitely just brought it here. So like shout out to the skeleton crew. So again, I am hello to the one person that is watching from YouTube, but it's time to go. Hope you like, comment, and subscribe, brother or sister, or they there, whichever you prefer. Um
Fellow Trekker.
Fellow Trekker, just like I am the Trek star. I'm sorry, I am very, very high right now. Like I gotta drink some water, like right after. I am not kidding. Everything is bad. You know what? There's actually something I did want to say. I went to Barnes and Nobles and I was mad. I was Sunday. It was this past Sunday at the Barnes and Nobles, literally around the corner from where I live. I go in there and I forgot that Disney owns Marvel and Marvel owns the Xenomorph and Yacha franchises. I'm still mad about that. So technically Disney owns Alien versus Predator. Well,
Yeah.
I go look at the Dark Horse comments, which I shouldn't have done that. Because they weren't there. They just weren't at all. Not even past editions. I was like, okay, cool. I go to the Marvel section and there they are. And it has the Marvel logo on each of them. And that made me sad, but it's whatever. And then I tried looking for the Star Trek graphic novels, hopefully the same ones that Keith had been running into.
The
Um,
IDW ones. Yes.
right. Yeah, they didn't have that at all.
Yeah. That.
The only things they had were autobiographies and not even I'm talking about of the actors and actresses. A lot of William
Oh yeah.
Shatner. et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, Barnes and Nobles, I need you to get it together because I'm not going to any other bookstore, but I will order online.
Yeah. Yeah, go IDW online allows you to be able to buy any of their comics in ebook, and they have a pretty good ebook interface for comic books that makes it flow rather nice. So it's not like you're looking at a scanned in page. The art actually flows much better on the
Mm.
screen. So
Okay, cool, cool. But guys, it's been 105 and I don't want to jinx us. So make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Hello to that one person that managed to stick with us this long. Hope you loved it. My name is William Walford and here with Keith Shevlin, and it's time to roll that beautiful bean outro footage.
live
Peace.
long and prosper.
Live long and prosper. Hold on. You know what? Screw it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm not gonna ever say it on the internet. Yeah, never. yeah.
Oh my god. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Wait. There was a shadow of a church.
Okay. What?
William has questionable
I didn't
ideas
catch
about
that
what he
one.
puts. William has questionable ideas about what he puts on the internet.
Oh, I remember that episode.
Uh-huh.
I remember that episode. Yeah.
Wait. What? Wait.